Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is KyraJay. If you're not new here and you're back because you like me, welcome back. So today I want to do an eyebrow tutorial. I feel like eyebrows are one of the hardest parts about doing makeup. One day they can turn out great, the next day they can turn out trash. I just feel like it's something that we all struggle with, and so I want to show you guys how I do my eyebrows. So without further ado, let's zoom in on my brows. Okay, so I'll be using the Morphe brow pomade, and I'll also be using an angled brush from e.l.f. Okay, so first thing you want to do, or first thing I do, is I like to brush out my brows. And this part honestly really is important because it lets you see exactly what kind of shape you're working with. And as you can see, my brows are not like extremely grown out. They actually get worse than this, but they definitely could use a cleanup. And it definitely is a little bit tougher to fill in your eyebrows when they're grown out like this. So I'm going to show you how. So what I like to do is I'm going to take the brush, I'm going to take the pomade, and take a little bit. And I never like to use too much pomade, so what I like to do is after I'm done, I like to scrape it on the side of the container just to get the excess out. So now you want to start your brow wherever you think that your brow naturally should start. So for me, I'm going to start about right here. Obviously I have hair growing up above it, but that's just because that's hair that's grown out. So you just want to make a line where you want to start it, and you want to always start it. If you want your brows thicker, you can always make them thicker as you go, but when you're first starting, I recommend not making them too thick because then you're just gonna have to clean it up, and it's a lot easier if you just build your way up to a thicker brow. So I like to take, like I said, I like to take it across, following my natural hairline. And then I stop it right here because that's where my arch is going to go. And I always like to start on the top, and then I like to work my way down to the bottom of my brow. So I'm just going to brush them out again, kind of brushing it in a downwards motion so I can tell where I want my arch to go. Now I'm going to keep sweeping the brush. And now it's time for my arch. And I can tell where my arch is because the hair is getting a little bit higher. So I'm just following that natural line again, all the way down. I actually have an arch on this brow, but this brow I have no arch, so I'm going to show you guys how to make an arch in a second if you don't have one. So now what I like to do is I like to start from the end and work my way forward. So this is all grown out hair, but I want to keep my brow right here. So I'm going to sweep it all right here. And yes, it did mess up, but it's fine because I'm going to clean it up in a second. So when you're filling in your brows, it doesn't always have to be perfect because we're going to clean it up with concealer anyway. Just following that natural line. And when you're filling in your brows and they're grown out, you have to kind of create a shape in your head as how you want them to look or grow. So for me, I don't want them too thick on the bottom. So I'm making sure that I don't fill in too much. Following that line. Okay, just like that. Now as I get to the front, I like to stop like right here because now we're going to add some more brow pomade, making sure to wipe off the excess on top of the container. And now I'm going to sweep up gently because you don't want it too thick. It's a little too thick, but it's okay. Just gently sweep up like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and clean up a little bit. And that is the first eyebrow. So like I said, we're going to do the same thing on this brow, and we're going to start wherever you want your brows to start. Or you're going to make a line wherever you want your brows to start. I want to start right here. So I'm just going to follow this line. Okay. So I'm stopping right here because that's where I'm going to be making my arch. So when you really don't have much of an arch, you want to make sure that you, or when you're drawing your line, that you're kind of moving in an upward direction so that you can create that arch. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm not moving straight, I'm moving in an upwards direction to the peak of where I want my brows. My arch. And then you're going to bring it down. Arch. So draw your line in, arch, bring it down wherever you want. And this arch is a little bit too arch, but it's okay because we're going to clean it up when I use concealer. And then you're going to follow your natural shape all the way down. I really hope I'm explaining this well. It's really hard to talk and do this at the same time. And like I said, when I get to the bottom of my brows, I like to start at the ends and work my way up. So I'll start right here. Following my natural line. See that? Then I'm going to fill this in a little bit. Now don't flame me in the comments, you guys. My eyebrows are stepsisters. You know, most people, I told you guys this before, most brows are sisters. Like, they're not identical, but they look very much alike. Nah, mine are stepsisters. They're considered two completely different shapes, and so it does make it harder to do my brows. And honestly, I just stopped worrying about whether my brows were super even or not. I just worry about how clean they are and how good they look. So now we're going to the front of the brow. We're going to start moving the brows upwards. Or we're going to start drawing lines upwards. And you can take them in more if you want. Like if you're, oh, it's too thick, crap. Sometimes I mess up, you guys. I'm not perfect. Made it too thick, but it's okay. We're gonna work with it. So if your brows don't grow far enough in, you can always just do this technique and go in as close as you desire. Just like so. So to clean my brows, I'm going to be using LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Chestnut. This is like my natural shade. Usually, well, most of the time, I will use a lighter concealer on the bottom and then I'll use a dark one on the top. I'll use this one on the top. But for the sake of the video, we're just going to act like I'm doing just a natural beat. So we're just going to use this on the top and bottom. I'm using a small concealer brush. I hope you guys can see that. This is my favorite brush to use when I'm doing my eyebrows. So what I like to do is when I take the concealer, I like to take some and I like to put it on my hand. And I do this because I'm going to be dipping in this a lot. I'll put some more, just like this. So when I'm dipping it in, you want to be mindful of how much you're using, and I'm going to show you why. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and do a voiceover for this part because I explained it terribly in the video. But basically, I'm starting my concealer just a little bit below my natural hairline so that when I'm blending upwards, I'm not blending that concealer into my eyebrow. By the time I, have gotten to my actual hairline, the concealer is evenly blended and I'm not packing it on, if that makes sense. I hope this makes sense and I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. and moving upwards. See? Just like that. And that will prevent you from using too much concealer and getting it built up in your eyebrows. Because let me tell you, it sucks and it's very, very annoying when you use too much. Eyebrow. And I am going to move up just a little bit. Just following my natural line. Like so. And see like how easy it was for me to just like swoop in that arch? It's because of this brush. It is rounded out, so it makes it much easier. Then I'm gonna just follow it down. You want to make sure your lines are straight. And then bring it down. So when you're done, you can analyze your brows and you can see what parts you want to be crispier, or thinner. So for me, I kind of want to thin this part out just a little bit. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back over here. I'm not taking a lot of concealer this time. I'm just going to thin it out. And I'm doing it slowly and gradually. So now we're going to do the top of the eyebrow. And the same thing applies, but this part's just a little bit more important because you can really mess up your eyebrows this way. So what I like to do is, again, grab your concealer and you want to start just a little bit above where your eyebrow starts, like right here, because we're going to keep sweeping and sweeping until we get closer. Like right here, and I'm going to drag it down. Okay. Now for the top, same thing, start a little bit above and work your way down. And again, you guys, if you pack on too much concealer and you pack it on right here, you have nowhere for the concealer to blend, so you're just going to blend it into your eyebrows. It can only blend down. Slowly follow it. And now see, I can really conceal more right here, so I'm going to keep going until it's my desired shape. Okay, and this is the first brow, you guys, real crispy like. Ooh. So because I explained this brow, I think I'm just going to speed up this one so that you guys, so I'm not taking up too much time. Okay, so now that we're done, I'm going to show you guys one other thing you can do in case you did mess up when you were concealing, or if you just want to clean some stuff up. So this is the part we get a little crazy to make them look just a little bit better. You're going to go back in with that angled brush and we're going to clean up the brows, just the edges of them. And this is going to make them look extra sharp and clean. I think that's all I need on this side. But be careful, because if you do mess up, you're gonna have to conceal again, and that can be really annoying. Also, this part is totally optional. Lastly, I'm just going to take my Morphe E27 brush, and I'm just going to blend this all in. Alright you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I really hope that I explained it well enough for you guys. Like I said, I suck at trying to explain and do things at the same time. But I'm going to get better, I promise. And like I said, I hope you guys took something away from this video. If you guys want to try to do your eyebrows using my technique, or even just trying to do exactly what I did, please let me know. I would love to see how they turned out. And like I said, brows are not easy to do, so if you don't get it the first time, it's okay. It takes time, but you're gonna get better at it if you keep trying, you keep practicing. Just don't give up. And yeah, so again, you guys, I really enjoyed making this video. If you like this video, you already know what to do. I ain't even gotta tell you, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, just in case. Like, comment, and subscribe. And again, let me know what you think in the comments, and if this technique worked for you guys. Alright y'all, I will see you in the next one. I love you very much. Bye.